What's going on, you guys? Paul here with Paul's Performance, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be giving you guys a little update on the Silver Bean. We did a video a while back on a broken timing belt, which was in this silver car that Samuel purchased, and we went over the damage, which we had the head off, and we evaluated the head to see if it was something that we could salvage. Samuel didn't want to put a whole lot of money into it, so we didn't just want to go buy a brand new head and all of that for this car, because we also didn't know what the rest of the car was going to be like. So we wanted to try and salvage as much as possible, which is not something you typically want to do. It does save money, but it could go very wrong. I always suggest, if you're taking your vehicle somewhere and they're gonna do it this way, I would probably leave, unless, like I said, you know them and they're really good, just because, like I said, this is not the right way. So those of you machinists, technicians out there who may be watching this video, this is not a way that I do in my shop or I tell people to do. This was just us getting this beater back running. It is what it is kind of deal, if you understand my drift. I know those of you out there, for your actual car, you may want to save money, because I know, like I said, money's money, it's tight, you want to save it. But it would honestly be more worth it to go ahead and replace the entire head and do it right. That way you don't have to spend more money in the long run, because you can get lucky and it work, or you could be unlucky and then you have to end up spending that money twice. I don't suggest this, but like I said, we tried it. So anyways, let's get to it. All right, guys, I know you've been wondering, where's my Paul's Performance merch at? Well, wonder no further, because it's right here. Or it might be right here. It's definitely down there. If you guys want to go check that out, we have hoodies, shirts, hats, and we're probably gonna have some stickers here soon. Pick any of that stuff up. It'd be really cool to support the channel so we can make some more videos for you guys. If not, if you don't want to be cool, that's also fine too, to not be cool. You get what I'm saying. So please go check that out, guys. Long story short, we got the car put back together and it exploded. So we're about to put this motor in. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, it actually went very well. I'm gonna go over what we did. We didn't get to video all of the stuff we did as far as me rebuilding the head, which, like I said, is not really rebuilding. I didn't take it to a machine shop, which is what you should do, or just buy a new head. I am gonna kind of go over what I did to kind of repair some of the stuff that was damaged in the head, and it was more of a shot in the dark. So obviously I analyzed the head just to address that there wasn't extreme damage to any of the valve seats. I wanted to make sure that they didn't have any huge gashes in them, that way that, you know, they would all make a seat. I also tested them with the existing valves that were bent in it, and all of them actually still had a seal except for one of the bent ones, and it was barely leaking. So when I removed that valve, I looked at the seat and the seat actually looked fine, enough to where I could get a seal out of it, so I wasn't too worried about that. The valve guides in these heads for the ALHs are replaceable. It's something that you should get a machine shop to press in, you know, hone them out if necessary for new valves. I did not do that. So like I said, don't kill me, machinists. I know you're gonna be in the comments, but like I said, the car's got almost 300,000, so if we can get some life out of it, we're gonna see. So anyways, I put new valve guides in it, new valve seals and new valves, reseated them, got all of them to hold a seat as needed, put the existing springs back in it, and I got new lifters. Now that was another part that was questionable, because when the catastrophic event happened of the timing belt, it also bent a valve and it damaged some of the lifters. They were actually locked into the head, and these lifters looked like little cylinders. Some of them had actually, like I said, they were locked up. I had to get them out. So what I did, like I said, this is not something you want to do, but this is what we did for this car. I bought this little honing tool right here. This is a brake cylinder hone from Lyle. I can put the part number in, but it's the perfect size to go inside that bore for the lifter. And I think I had two that had a little bit of a bad spot in it from where those lifters actually got stuck during the event. And so I took this and some oil and I, honed those two out. That way they were kind of smooth and got it to where the new lifters would slide freely. And like I said, that was it. And like I said, we put the head back together, same cam, new gaskets, obviously, and we put it back together. We're gonna step outside and I'm gonna show you how this thing runs, because we're one of the lucky ones, I will say that. So we're gonna go hit the key. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, this car is back alive. It's actually running great, like honestly better than I expected. It does have new valves and lifters and everything in the top end, but I was honestly very concerned as to whether or not, you know, with the damage to the bores for the lifters, or me not machining out the valve guides and having a machine shop actually get everything dead on, as to whether or not it was going to run great. But it honestly runs smooth, just like honestly better than some of the ALHs that I've seen come in that haven't had this type of issue. We got very lucky with this one. Whenever you see a car or your car gets a broken timing belt, granted each time is different, a different scenario can happen. Obviously lots of stuff can get damaged. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's complete junk. Because like for this one, in this case, all the damage was inside the head. And even if the head would have gotten damaged beyond repair to where we have it now, because like I said, it's fully repaired other than the head. And like I said, it's not perfect machine shop, but it seems to be working fine, and we'll see how long it lasts. It could get another 300,000 miles out of it, which is what we're hoping for. And based on how it's running, it's absolutely very possible. Because like I said, we have no smoke, blow by seems fine, and it runs smooth, it has good power. Everything looks good so far. We're probably gonna do another update video after we put a few thousand miles, probably get through an oil change, about 5,000 miles, and we'll update you guys on how it's doing. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna tell you guys, I guess, a little funny story about this and give you, I guess, some advice on what not to do. But when we initially got this thing started up, it smoked really badly, and it had a little skip to it. It was concerning, obviously, with the repairs you did. I was concerned as to whether or not one of the valves stuck, because like I said, I didn't have this sent to a machine shop to get everything clearanced out perfect, just made it work here in the shop. Those of you mechanics know what I mean. And that's also why I didn't make a video really showing you guys how to do it, because this is not the proper way to do this particular thing. This was just a shot in the dark on a cheap car. For the person who's looking to repair this thing, buy a new head. That's what I suggest if that's the problem, as long as your bottom end's okay. Like I said, this one was fine. You're likely to be in good shape as long as your bottom end's okay. But anyways, the injectors. So I had these injectors that came in this car, and as far as we knew, there was nothing wrong because they just broke the timing belt and that was it. But I made a mistake and I dropped the number 3 injector, which is the one that has the wire on it. It dented in the nozzle, and I was like, no big deal. We have the ones that come out of Samuel's car to go back in it. This car has a different connector. So I was like, okay, I'll just change the nozzle out myself. I just swapped the nozzle out, didn't do a correct swap of the nozzle. I just did it very quickly when we were putting it back together, because I wanted to hear it run. It did not go so well. Like I said, it was smoking very badly. And so we then took one of the injector that has the wire off of Samuel's. I swapped the connector. I wasn't exactly sure as to which wire went, so I just kind of guessed, and we put it on there. And luckily I guessed right the first time, so the circuit was right, and also the injector was in good shape, and that was the whole problem with the car. It started running perfect after that. So my suggestion to you is, whenever you're doing a big job like this, or any big job, I did the same way on my TDI swap, try not to try anything else when you're doing something sketchy. So I wasn't sure if the head was the issue or if it was the injector. I got really lucky and it was the injector. I was like, well, I took this one apart, so it's likely something wrong with it, and it was. So I got lucky on that. But I would say don't try anything new. If you know your injectors were okay the first time, put those back in it. Don't go buy a new set, because new sets can have problems too. Don't put another set in it that you're unknown of, or that goes for any of these parts that you have. That's why when I did my TDI swap, people were like, why didn't you rebuild the engine while you had it on the engine stand? The reason I didn't do that is because I didn't want to have an issue with it running and me not know if it was something wrong with the motor, or if it was something wrong with my wiring or the swap. Now that I know that my swap's good, I'll go and rebuild the motor. I'm probably gonna rebuild this one that's on the stand. Anytime you're doing a swap like that, I just suggest to keep it as much stuff that you know works in there, and don't try to change a bunch of stuff at one time. I see that mistake a lot with people. They'll go in to do something and they'll change all types of stuff, and then when they have a problem, you're not really sure where to start. Pay attention to that, because like I said, it can come back and bite you. Also, one more thing for you ALH guys, I've had a bunch of comments about my EvryMod video and where to get an EvryMod. And I've mentioned to you guys that I was going to build my own EvryMod and try to get it to you guys. The reason that I haven't gotten to that is because I really want to make sure that everything as far as plug and play operation and switch and everything works properly. The EvryMod, I can't emphasize enough, is not a tune. It is not the correct way to go. It can give you some power, but it is exactly what it is in the title. It is a mod. It is not something that is safe to do, which, like I said, tunes are not necessarily safe. Any power upgrade other than stock ups your chance of something going wrong. And EvryMod is no different. It's honestly worse. So just be aware with an EvryMod when you're putting it on your car that it could cause issues. For mine, I want to make sure it works. And now that we have this car here, this car is going to be our test car for this channel most likely and for this EvryMod. So once I get my EvryMod finished up, I'm going to put it on this car and I'm going to run through testing and make sure we don't have any issues. The EvryMod that I used in the video that I made, that I bought, I've had issues with in Samuel's car with connection and it working half the time. So I want to fix that issue and also make sure it's still easy for anyone to throw it on. Also have a little bit of a tweaking zone. That way I can let you guys know, hey, you need to keep it in this area or less. But be aware of the EvryMod. It is not safe power by any means. It is a mod, so you need to use it at your own risk. But I am going to try to make one for you guys that is, at least nice and works well. That way you can plug it in and you can try it yourself and, like I said, use at your own risk. Alrighty guys, so that concludes the update on the Silver Bean. I know some of you guys really wanted to see the entire process. I didn't have time. It's a very busy season for me, so I really didn't have time to get all of that on video. So I do apologize for those of you guys who wanted to see every single step of this process. But for those of you guys who have any questions about this, just leave a comment and I will try to get back to you. You guys know that I try to answer as many questions as possible. So like I said, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer. As far as about for this repair, I'll answer you with my honest opinion. But like I said earlier, I don't recommend going the route that we did on this silver car. We got very lucky. But like I said, on your car, I would recommend full replacement of the head or letting a machine shop fix the head. That way you don't have to do it twice. Because if this wasn't to work and we would have had one of them stick or any of that issue, we would have to tear it back down, and that's twice the work. For me, as a mechanic, it's not a big deal, but if you're paying somebody to do it, you definitely don't want to have to do it twice. So like I said, I highly suggest going the correct route on this. As always, like I said, I appreciate you guys watching. I know it's been a little while since I posted a video. Been very busy, hoping to get some more videos up and get back to a more frequent schedule. If you have any videos you want to see, obviously leave a comment, let me know, and we'll try to make that happen. And we'll try to get some more TDI Toyota videos. I've gotten the timing belt back in, so I have some updates on that coming here soon. As always, please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.